All right, we're going to pick back up here. I don't know what happened, but there, that's better.
Okay.
So Kathy was giving us an update of when you can use a real estate attorney. So I, as a real estate agent, don't give legal advice, don't want to give legal advice. I didn't go to school for that. Kathy did. So that's where Kathy comes into play. She can help you. When I fill out a contract to purchase a property, there's a line on there that says, who do you want to handle the closing? That's where Kathy comes into play. So she'll run your title searches, pretty much make sure there's no liens against the property, all that kind of stuff. She handles also the insurance. You want to talk about like owner's policy?
There's title insurance. Most of the lenders will require a lender's policy, protects the lender up for their policy. But an owner's policy would protect you for as long as you own the property and even after you sell it. It's a different type of insurance and it does not need to be renewed annually. So you pay a one-time premium at closing or within the next 30 days after closing, because then you get the benefit of a discounted rate because you had to purchase the lender's policy.
Okay.
So that's the time you want to get the owner's policy at closing or the next couple weeks after closing, and then it would protect against any defects in the title. Now, the title attorney has their own malpractice insurance, but what owner's title insurance protects against defects in the title, if there's a misrecorded document at the courthouse, if there was a forged document, if there was an estate and maybe one heir did not know about this and then the heir many years later finds out about the sale of the property. So that protects you against that, and it is that one-time premium. Once you sell the property, 10 years down the road, if a question comes up, you're still protected by that policy.
Okay, so and the time that I buy this policy is at closing.
Yes.
That's when I pay for this policy. So we're at the closing table. We've got the contract. Everything's good. We're at the closing table. It comes out of my closing. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I can write a check for it if I want, but it also can come out of my closing costs, right?
Exactly. And it can be a matter of just a couple $100 too, depending on it's based on the purchase price, the loan amount, and what you've paid for the discount. But it's not that expensive for what you're purchasing the home.
And I think another point is this is not something that can be shopped.
Right.
This is a set fee?
Set fee.
For both Ohio and Kentucky?
Ohio is state regulated. Kentucky, there's very little, any wiggle room or anything like that. So.
Okay. So it is very important because you never know what you're going to, especially, somebody might say, oh, maybe on a brand new house, do I even need it then?
But I would definitely say yes on that. I've had brand new houses myself personally and think the world of the builder, but you don't know what happened with that land that the builder purchased and everything like that. So it goes back to that. If you're purchasing cash, I had someone purchase cash closing last week, and I said, you have got to get title insurance. You have way too much equity in this home for that. So that's another reason you'd want to do it. If someone doesn't want to get it, and I've run the title search and I see there was a divorce case, I see there was foreclosure in a state, that's when I call you, the realtor, and I say, we need there's a lot of risk factors here. Okay.
So another person or another time, so say you're an investor and you're looking to buy properties, and that's a big time when you should use it with the real estate agent. But you also, if you're an investor just trying to buy properties, write contracts, write mortgages, write different things, that's when you'll call your real estate attorney and they can help you with that kind of information and write those contracts, write those forms, that type of thing. So let's go kind of jump gears into a little bit into estate planning.
Okay.
So when should a person start thinking about estate planning?
Typically when people buy their first house, that's when they think about doing that. But anytime you've got assets, you've got children, you're married, that's when you need to do the estate planning.
Okay. And estate planning can be a lot of things. What exactly, does that mean?
It comprises of 4 main documents. One would be the will, that tells you who you want to be the guardian of your children, the executor of your estate, any specific bequest, or just the general who gets what, handles it like that. A general power of attorney we always recommend as part of one of those 4 documents where you appoint someone as your power of attorney. A medical power of attorney is the 3rd document, so that person can talk to the doctor. If you're having tests or you're coming out of surgery, that medical power of attorney will allow that person to speak to the doctor and understand the test results and everything like that. Typically, if it's a spouse, the doctors will talk to you, but I definitely recommend getting that medical power of attorney. And also, if it's not a spouse, if it's a relative or a friend, so that that person can talk openly with the doctor and help you while you're somewhat incapacitated getting the medical treatment. And then the fourth document is a living will that will help decide, you make the decisions so that your loved ones don't have to, on your how you want to be kept alive, on machines, not on machines, donating your organs, everything like that. So those are the four documents that I offer in an estate planning paperwork.
So, I mean, those are all things I think, people don't want to think about, but they're all really needed things. So we never know. We don't have the promise of tomorrow, so we definitely need to, keep those kind of things in mind. If you don't have an attorney to help you with that kind of things, or maybe you haven't reviewed it. How often should you review something like that?
I mean, I just did one last week for someone that had been 20 years. So
Wow.
In the original paperwork, they had trust set up, guardians set up for their minor children that aren't minor anymore. So, I always say just put it in your calendar for every 5 years. Not that you have to update or anything like that, but then you can think, do I still want this person to be my executor? Have I any different wishes or anything like that? So I would, as a checkup every 5 years. But if there's any life-changing event, a divorce, purchasing property, selling property, anything like that, that's when you need to re-look at everything as well.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of stuff there. Really, if you don't have an attorney, you should find one. I mean, that's kind of the basic gist on that. But they can come into play more than just, I think everybody thinks of bankruptcy or divorce as the only time you need an attorney, or you want to sue somebody or stuff like that. But it helps you be prepared altogether. Right. So I think it's a great thing to have. Anything I'm forgetting? The questions the other thing I think is the different kinds of deeds. Mm-hmm. There's more than just like a quick claim deed. Can you explain some of maybe
Absolutely.
The other kinds there is?
Because you want that in your contract. This is mainly, I think, if you're a seller and maybe you're representing an estate, you don't want to offer a general warranty deed at the closing. You want to offer a special warranty deed. A general warranty deed is the best deed that you can give. You're conveying it, nothing's wrong with it, everything's perfect. That's what everyone wants, and that's a type of deed. But there's certain types you want a special warranty or a limited warranty deed. And that's if you're a trustee of a trust, or if it's investment property, you haven't been living there, or you're an executor of the estate. You can't warrant everything that the law states a general warranty deed has. Quit claim deed, only time I ever see this is in a divorce situation where you're quit claiming your interest. Basically, whatever you have to convey, you're conveying. Okay. So a divorce situation is the only time you ever want to see a quit claim deed, because there's just nothing there, and a bona fide purchaser for value, you don't want that at all. So general warranty deed's the best. If there's a specific circumstance that would warrant the special warranty deed, and then there's the quit claim deed. Okay. We talked a little bit about investors, so you want to make sure if you are buying and selling property as an investor, you have an LLC, and then that property is set up and conveyed to the LLC and not you personally, to avoid any personal liability.
Gotcha. So Kathy can help you with that process as well. So Dave Evans with a quick question. Can you write your own will, or do you have to use an attorney in the state of Ohio?
You can write your own will, but state attorneys are not very expensive. To get one, to make sure it's done, and that it does what it needs to do. So
yeah, because I think personally we've run into this, where maybe somebody writes something down on the paper and maybe they sign it, and it just, you got to watch what holds water, what doesn't hold water.
You got to make sure there's notaries and everything like that. So simple wills are not expensive, so I would have an attorney prepare it to make sure it carries out your wishes.
Okay, cool, excellent. All right, well, we don't want to go on too long, but hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, contact myself or Kathy. Kathy is an attorney here with Ziegler and Schneider, And I appreciate you taking the time.
Enjoyed it.
We're going to talk to her again. So if you have more questions that you'd like to have answered, maybe we'll meet together again next week and we can come up with some more answers for some more questions. Or, there's so many aspects of real estate in general that it takes a while to cover it. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.